I bought these 3 styrofoam Dollar Tree pumpkins, and I'm just going to remove the stems and paint them. I'm using this matte River Rock by Krylon. Be sure to remove the stickers off of these because you're going to be painting the bottoms also. And you're going to want to use at least 2 coats of paint to get good coverage on it. I have a piece of rebar in a large flower pot that I'm going to be putting these on. Now this is going to make more sense. You got to watch part 2. But I'm using a drill bit roughly the size, the diameter of the rebar. I'm going to drill completely through 2 of the pumpkins and about halfway through the 3rd pumpkin. I have this bag of wood chunks. They look like stems. They have bark on them still from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to be picking out the best one that's going to fit the top pumpkin, the one that we only drilled halfway through. And I'm going to be painting it this gold color that I have. And then I'm just going to hot glue it onto the top of the pumpkin. Found these cute thin pumpkins from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that same Krylon matte River Rock. You're going to need to paint at least 2 coats for good coverage and then let that dry. And again from Dollar Tree, I found these cute 10 words. And I'm just going to pick out Harvest. I'm going to hot glue that to my pumpkin. Now the hot glue didn't want to hold that well. I had to use more than I wanted to so you could see it coming out the sides. So if you do this project, you might want to do some crazy glue on the back or either some E6000 as well, just to hold it. Or you might want to kind of tack it down with maybe something. But again, you got to wait till part 2 to see where we use all these project sets. So you got to tune in for my next upload for part 2. This very used cabinet door came from my local Habitat for Humanity. I cleaned it up real well and removed all of the hardware. Then I gave it a good sanding. I had some spare molding in the garage, so I just measured and cut them at 45-degree angles to make a little frame. I'm going to leave room on the sides, 2 of the sides, for my handles. But I just used some finishing nails to attach. And what I wanted was just a little raised edge, so if I put something on my tray, you know, it's got something to butt up against so it doesn't fall off so easily. Now I'm just using my wood filler to fill in the holes from the hardware where it sat, and touching up on the molding where my 45-degree angles didn't meet up as pretty as I wanted to. Anyhow, just let that dry. Then we're going to give that a light sanding, and then I'm going to do 2 coats of white paint on all of it. And then of course, let that dry. These cute fall stencils came from Hobby Lobby. I am going to use the one with the leaves and that same gold paint from earlier where we painted the pumpkin stems. What you want to do is make sure that you have either a stencil brush or just a big fluffy brush, thick. Because I tried a thin brush at first and it didn't do. So here's my gold paint, and you just saw Bolt walk by a while ago, and he's going to walk by one more time too. So anyhow, he's trying to steal my thunder. So just stencil, and I'm just randomly picking what I want to use and where. And then you're going to want that to dry real well also. I just picked up 2 handles from Lowe's. The drill bit that you're going to use should be roughly the diameter of the screws. You don't want it any larger. So I measured the sides where the handles are going to go, and I marked halfway, and I used a pen. I should have used a pencil, but I did a pen. That's what I had on hand. So I'm just going to make a tiny little mark, and then my way of doing stuff, my husband, when he sees this, he's going to be cringing. I use painter's tape and cut a piece for each handle. I cut it to size. Then I took my pen and stuck it into the handle, punched a hole into the tape where the screws are going to go at. So then I'm going to take and find the middle of the handle. So I'm going to measure that, and then I'm going to take that measurement and mark it on my tape. Then I'm going to line up that middle mark from my tape with the mark on the little cabinet door. Straighten your tape out. I did have to cut the sides some because that is the larger painter's tape, the wider. So you're going to line that up, make sure it's straight, and then you'll know from where the holes are in your tape where to put the drill bit for those holes to where your handles are going to go. Then this is our finished tray project. For our next project, I have 2 more of the styrofoam Dollar Tree pumpkins. I'm going to remove the stems and the stickers, and I chose to paint these black. And you're going to need 2 good coats because the styrofoam really did eat up this black paint. Then when I'm through with the pumpkins and they are drying, I'm going to take 2 more of those Dollar Tree stems, those wood stems, and again I'm going to paint those gold, and I'm just going to glue those onto each of the pumpkins. For our final project, I had these coasters left over from project years ago, and they are the ceramic tiles, the single ones. I couldn't find those anymore, but I know that Dollar Tree has some coasters you could use this idea with, or Target has some coasters too. I found these napkins at Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to cut these. Now, first I tried doing just a single, and it's a double layer, so you got the image and then you got a little backing, but I found that it's better to just double them up to begin with. Just match up your images so you can't see them behind each other, but match up your images and then double it. I'm going to use Mod Podge on the coaster, and then once that's done well, make sure you do the edges well also, because you're going to want to spread the napkin over the sides of the coaster. But I found that it was best to brush the Mod Podge on the napkin actually with my hand. and not the brush. The brush tend to move the napkin a little too much, and it messed it up in a couple places, and I had to redo some. But anyhow, right now I'm using a brush, but I'll eventually just dip my hands down up in there and do my hands. So just let that dry real well, and then I use some clear sealant to just seal it real well. And just take your scissors, whatever you've got, and just straighten up the edges after it dries, because it may not have taken all the way around the edges. So I just cut it and straightened them up. But it's cute little coasters to use.